How many of you are familiar with the word empathy? For the millennial generation, this may kind of sound like an alien word. Why does this happen? I am 65 this year. And over the last 30 years, I've seen a transformation in young people. I notice a form of emptiness in today's teenagers as they seek for gratification, where they post themselves in the social media proclaiming things that they really aren't. Self-validation has become such an important issue that you cry out loud and tell, this is who I am, when that is not really you. You finally believe that bullying is the way to get popular. You desire the approval from your peers, and in the end, you pull yourself deeper and deeper to a point of darkness where there is no return. You are in an abyss which is so terrible that you end in a point of loneliness and despair where there seems to be no answer. Do you know the kind of pictures that you see in Instagram are so pathetic that one would wonder what has come into this mind of this young girl, that she is willing to strip herself of every dignity just to see that she has a following. Allowing her body to be viewed by people who lust after her, and she's fine with it, because at the end of her dream is one thing, that I have an amazing following. Is that really you? Is that really you when you go into online stores and you buy hundreds of clothes which you wear and return the next day to post them onto the social media because you want to tell somebody, this is who I am? You were created to be an original. You have become a duplicate because you think somebody's posts make them somebody special, where you think that you're inferior. And how do we get out of this world? In reality, joy never comes in living a life of a parasite. The more you try to extract from the others, the more depressed you get. Empathy is an astounding thing. The more you give, the more you receive. And the more you give, the more happier you get. And why does that happen? It happens because of two hormones in your body called serotonin and dopamine. Both are necessary for you to be happy. And both get suppressed as you live a life of selfishness where the world you believe is all about you. Start changing. Start living a life where you think, can I make a difference into somebody's life? And you will see your world change around you. You come smiling. I walk into the school and everybody says, happy morning. By telling happy morning, you're not going to get happy. You will change the day you decide, I am not a duplicate. I don't have to copy somebody else's pictures, the pouting face and the odd poses to be happy. I have to change. And if your school thinks about it, start putting posters. Social medias are for fools who are deprived of any individuality. Put it across your school. Make the young person understand social media kills you and destroys you, and you're no longer the same person. I'm going to quickly take you through 4 stories, each one of them to tell you the impact it has on the lives of people. When I was 23 years old, I was working in a hospital in Chennai. And when I was there was this young girl of 14 who was admitted to the ICU. The ICU is a strange place. You shut people inside when they are lonely, depressed, tired and sick. And they say that anybody who's close to you cannot visit you for more than a few minutes. And when I walked into that room, I saw this girl lying there. My chief had told me she will not live for more than 6 or 7 hours and that she should not be resuscitated. And when I looked at that lonely girl, I told the chief nurse that I want her parents to be with her. She said that it is not okay, and I said, this is okay. And she said, I will be complaining to the chief about you. And I said, that is okay. The two parents sat by the side of this girl. Over the next few hours, she ebbed into unconsciousness and disappeared from this earth forever. One small act, but it did not cost me anything but would change this family's life. A couple of months later, as I was walking on the roads of Perambur, an elderly gentleman came and practically fell at my feet. I was amazed. Why would somebody do that to me? And he told me, I want to thank you. He was sobbing as he thanked me for that one act I did where they felt they could stand by their daughter in that moment when she was so lonely. It doesn't cost money to show empathy. You doesn't need branded items to show empathy. You do not need fancy cars to show empathy. It needs a heart to show empathy, and that can change your life forever. When I finally leave this world, the only memory that will remain is, did I love others beyond measure? There's a story of my son. One day he was at the Araspuram subway store, and as he went to buy a sandwich for himself, he saw this scene. Two boys from the street, beggars, were putting their noses onto the glass, looking at him buy the sandwiches. And I told my son Arun, hey, you know something? I know what he did. You would do exactly what I did, buy some sandwiches for those boys. But what he did blew me completely. It was so radically different than what I could have ever done. He decided to buy it for them, but he sat on the footpath, and he ate that sandwich with them. I asked Arun, hey, why did you do that? He said, Dad, if I just gave them a sandwich, they would have still felt they were beggars. When I sat with them and ate with them, they felt they were my friends. I could just do that for half an hour. But for half an hour, I could do something for them that they would cherish forever and ever. And I asked myself this question, how often do I show empathy which still makes them feel like a beggar? A student comes to me to correct his thesis. It's the last day. I make him feel like a beggar when I scream at him or I tell him, it's okay. It's an honor and a privilege for me that I can spend time with you and I can be of help to you. You know one thing, not everybody can help. You are a selected few who can reach out and help, and don't ever miss that opportunity. I want to tell you another beautiful story. There's a story of my daughter. Every Christmas, we have got an amazing tradition in our family. And what do? Everybody buys a gift for everybody. So we buy a gift for my dad, for my mom, for my brother, for my children. And during that time, I also was a generous man. In covers, I put money and give it to my driver and to my maid and tell them that I want you to have a good time too. But there was something different that year that my daughter did. Down on the Christmas tree, she also had these beautiful packs packed, ribbons tied on it with my driver's name written, his wife's name written, his daughter's name written. And something happened which I never thought would ever happen. My driver, when he got that packet, started sobbing. And I asked him, why are you doing this way? And he said, sir, I never felt I was part of your family till this moment. 10 rupees of colored paper and a 1 rupee ribbon would change everything in my driver's life. It made him for once feel he was part of my family. I was giving him money which was much more expensive than that gift, but yet it couldn't touch him. How often do you make people feel that they are extraordinary special? How much of your time is spent in hate mail? How much of your time is spent in gossiping hate? How much of your time is spreading hatred and unkindness in a world that is desperately looking for love? I'll be ending with this last story. To me, this is probably the most beautiful story of all. There's this kid who had leukemia. When he finished his treatment, he was bald. He lost all his hair. He was feeling miserable. He just did not want to face his kids. Children today can be extremely mean. We know that truth, right? We know that they can be hateful at times. A child who doesn't have the color that he should have according to your eyes can be bullied. A child who doesn't seem to walk well or talk well can be bullied. A child who's a wrong accent could be made to feel miserable. And we can be so racial. I have a Frenchman with his odd accent and I consider it cute. I find a Malayali with his own accent and you find it pretty ugly. How can we be so bizarre when it comes to our attitudes? And then this child just would not want to go to school. But the teacher came to his home and said, this Monday you have to come to school. Everyone in the class is waiting for you and you cannot say a no. Monday morning, a scared child goes to the classroom and what does he see? Every single child that shaved his head off. Every child that decided that their friend should not feel lonely. Happy mornings cannot happen by saying happy morning. It comes when you give empathy and love. As a school, when you sit over here, can you make this promise? I will change my life from this day. I will stop being a fool in the social media. I will stop talking about lies about myself, which has no meaning. I don't need validation from the world. What I need is to show people who I truly am. And that is a person of love and kindness. The choices we make in our life determine who we really are. Cowards bully others because they know the wheat cannot hit back. But a person of real strength protects somebody who's falling. Ask yourself this question. Are you a real man? Or are you that coward who hides behind the big strength of a bully, tormenting your friends, speaking badly against them, thinking you're smart? Remember this truth. When the choice comes between doing what's right and what pleases your ego, choose what's right. Maybe your ego is pampered when everybody says, wow, you did something amazing. A young boy in Kerala commits suicide by jumping off the 7th floor. And why does a child do that? Because you're not a great looker. Bullied every day by the class, boys and girls. Boys used to push his head down the toilet and flush his head when others mocked in laughter. And one day he decided it was not worth living in this world. Are you willing to take these scars with you all your life? Or will you want to have a sense of fulfillment when you receive a joy which is permanent, which is much greater, which is much more fulfilling when you do what's right? You don't need validation from people. Validate your conscience with yourself. Are you at peace with your conscience? Sometime back, when I used to work in study in JIPMER in Pondicherry, I used to go month after month to work in Mother Teresa's homes. Those ladies wore cotton saris, worth probably 100 rupees, with their signature blue stripes. Not one of them looked for validation. They were content within themselves because they knew they did not have to please anybody else in the world. Ask yourself this question. Is your life really a life of foolishness and lies? About stories that are not true? About a media called the social media that is destroying you and sucking you of whom you really are? Kindness makes you the most beautiful person in the world. And kindness will be the only thing that is remembered forever. You will not remember the Nobel laureates of the world, You will not remember the gold medalist who won the 100 meters and the 1,000 meters on the Olympics. But you will remember him or her who touched your life with kindness. And that is your choice. You have to choose. Do you want to be somebody who will be remembered for generations because you were kind? Thank you.